Hello guys, did you see my last video? There was something terribly wrong with it. Look at this. Can you see it? It's so choppy. Look at it. Oh. In this short episode I will show you how to avoid choppy images in your videos like this, and also go through the basics of frame rate and shutter speed. Alright, first things first. Frame rate is the amount of images within 1 second of your video. Right now, and most of this video will be shot in 24 frames per second. That basically means there are 24 still pictures per second. Then you have shutter speed, which is the amount of time light shines on your sensor. Let's say you have your frame rate at 24 and also your shutter speed. Then the motion should be much more blurred. Let me show you. Right now, that's the case. I have a lot of motion blur and it actually seems quite weird how I'm moving around. This is not a normal amount of motion blur for video and film. But then again, you have the opposite effect if you increase it. I'm still shooting on 24 frames per second, but the shutter speed is 125. And now you see the motion blur, it's almost not, I mean, every picture is clear, but it looks horrible, you know? This is way action, you know? It doesn't look good. And that brings me back to my last episode. That's also the reason why the sign was all jiggery and choppy. Basically, I forgot to change back my shutter speed after taking a few photos. If you intend to shoot slow motion, let's say 60 frames a second, and slow that down, then this is actually the right frame rate. The rule of thumb is your shutter speed should be twice as much as your frame rate per second. So 125 is really good if you're shooting in 60 frames a second. And by really good, I mean it will look natural. If slow motion ever did look natural. Now I'm shooting in 60 frames a second. This can be slow motion.
And now you see the blurriness is better.
This is the right amount of motion blur and looks natural, familiar, because that's what most people shoot in. But to make this official test, let's just try this. This can happen when your video camera is the same you use for your photographs. So keep it in mind, and you will avoid having jiggery images. If you have any questions, leave them down below in the comment section, and I'll see you next week, yeah?